Hey, so hi everyone. Thank you for joining us. So we're here to speak this evening about active steps. So it's a project to develop an active transportation plan for the Municipality of Pictou County in the Town of Pictou. And my name's Lydia Broderick. I'm the engagement coordinator with Upland, and I'm also joined by Rachel McPhail, and she is the GIS analyst here with Upland. So any beautiful maps that you see tonight, all credits go to her for those. And another member of the Upland team is Bruce Manns, and he's the project manager and senior planner and partner here with Upland. We're working with the municipality and the town on this project, and we're really excited. All of us who are involved from Upland are avid AT users, and also big fans of Pictou, the municipality and the town. So we're really excited to be here, and we're really excited for those of you who have decided to join this evening or who are watching this now later on, for your engagement in this project. I'll mention it probably several more times tonight, but community engagement is like one of the largest puzzle pieces for this project. So we appreciate the time and the honesty and the feedback and experiences that everyone's able to contribute to this project, no matter how big or small. So thank you in advance, and thank you for being here. So just to kind of start things off, and everyone, there's many different definitions of active transportation, and you can look at it from a really complex perspective or a really simple perspective. And the best way to kind of sum it up is it's a broad term that refers to all modes of human-powered transportation. So that could include things like walking or wheeling, which is often used to refer to the use of assistive devices, but that's kind of person dependent. Cycling, rollerblading, or skateboarding, or other activities similar to that. Seasonal activities, so that could include canoeing, kayaking, cross-country skiing, kick sledding, and then some motorized forms of transportation as well. So like e-bikes and electric wheelchairs would also be included in active transportation. Sometimes, and I'm going to try to use the full form of it and say active transportation, but often you will hear people refer to active transportation as just AT. So if I do say AT at any point, that is what I'm referring to, or if you hear it referenced as AT throughout the project as well, that's why. There's lots of ways to kind of categorize different forms of active transportation, but one way that we tend to, and other folks do, is breaking into utilitarian and recreational active transportation. So utilitarian includes, and I don't want to say trips with purpose, because I think that recreational active transportation is just as purposeful for other reason, but it refers to active transportation that's used generally to get from point A to point B, or for different trips, like getting to work, to an appointment, running errands, commuting in general, to school, that sort of thing. And it doesn't have to mean that you're commuting the full way to work. It could mean, that you're parking, or you're taking the bus and then you're walking partway or cycling partway, or whatever other form that you may be using. Whereas recreational active transportation includes more leisure pursuits or recreational pursuits. So that could include, hiking a trail on the weekend or during the week. It could include dog walking, fitness, just trail running. There's a number of different activities, and the list goes on. But it is really important to recognize all of the different forms of active transportation, while also recognizing that some people choose to use active transportation. It's selected by choice. For example, today it was a gorgeous day out, so I wanted to walk instead of bus to work. That would be an example. But for some people, active transportation is either the only option or the best option for them. And that may be due to a number of reasons, maybe not having access to a vehicle, maybe other accessibility considerations. So it's really important to consider all forms of active transportation and all types of users and reasons behind why someone may be using it. So why active transportation? And this is a very, very condensed list, but there are a number of benefits. This is, I guess, the elevator pitch, but we could go into each one here, and we could add many more. But essentially, with the right setting and infrastructure, encouraging participation in active transportation can improve the mental and physical health of users. It can attract visitors and boost local business through increased foot traffic. So whether that's, folks who are on a cycling trip and they decide to stop to eat, or, you've decided to walk down a main street instead of driving and going straight to your destination, maybe you'll pass by a new shop that you've never seen before. It reduces carbon footprints and overall environmental impact. Not only does it reduce emissions, so one example would be reducing emissions if you maybe chose to walk or wheel instead of drive a vehicle somewhere, but it also increases connection to nature, which then also increases a likelihood to feel more responsible to protect it and to just feel a deeper sense of connection to the environment. It improves the equity of travel options, and it contributes to an accessible public realm. So as mentioned before, sometimes active transportation is either the only option or the best option, and it can increase, social cohesion in communities as it, provides more opportunities for people to come together. And then it also just, if you have really great infrastructure for active transportation, it increases the ability for folks to travel to places they may not have been to otherwise, and in a way that's safe and desirable and enjoyable for them. And kind of building off of that, it also creates safer and more livable communities for everyone. And one thing that's not there is it's also can be just really fun. I don't know if anyone's ever sat in traffic for a long time and then saw, someone just like smiling, cycling by or walking by, and recognizing that maybe isn't always an option for everyone. So that's what this plan aims to do, to create safe options, but also fun and desirable options, and options that people are excited to wake up and try. So just a little bit more about the project. I always like to start with defining active transportation before, jumping into the specifics of the project. But this project was launched in the spring of 2024, so fairly recently. And as mentioned before, it's a project that's being undergone by the Town of Pictou and the Municipality of Pictou County. And we as Upland, we're working with the municipality and the town to develop this plan. So it will aim to enhance the movement of residents, but also visitors. So I know I mentioned tourism before, or also maybe folks who don't necessarily reside in the study area, but maybe work or volunteer, or visit friends or family occasionally or frequently. Fostering a healthier and more sustainable community where active transportation is not only safe and practical, but also an enjoyable experience for all. And all should honestly be bolded there, because that is such a priority here, is, ensuring that it's not just for those who are currently using active transportation, not just to enhance the experience for them, but to, chat with folks who have never really used active transportation before, as well, and really being mindful of all of the different approaches that we need to take to reach everyone and to ensure that this plan reflects all community members. So then if we want to get a little bit more into it, the project, it also aims to identify specific areas requiring upgrades to facilitate increased active transportation. So that could be, something as simple as, a specific lip in a curb that maybe makes a sidewalk less accessible to like an entire section of the network. To explore new opportunities for developing active transportation infrastructure. So that, I guess that kind of explains itself, but looking at completely new areas that, not many folks even walk or cycle right now. To educate community members on the safe and efficient use of active transportation while highlighting its benefits. So as mentioned before, this project will not be successful without community engagement. And in order to engage the community, it's important to, really highlight the benefits of this plan and to really, communicate that and promote that properly. To expand active transportation networks around schools, community spaces, and business hubs. So throughout the project, we're really going to be focusing on all of the key destinations, and key destinations could be the really obvious ones like schools, community spaces, and business hubs, but it could also be, identified special places by community members. So like specific little grassy patches that, some youth really like to hang out in. So not just, looking at what pops up when you search, top destinations in the town of Pictou on Google, but like really speaking to the community and seeing where spaces are important to provide connections to. Establish connections with the Provincial Blue Route Cycling Initiative, which we will touch on a little bit later when we're looking at existing active transportation facilities. And also I should add to that, coordinating and working with regional groups who have various initiatives and speaking with community groups as well to, collaborate and see how we can work to implement this plan together and to develop it. And then finally, to develop an implementation strategy outlining priorities, behavioral change, best practices, and decision-making processes. And it looks like I didn't add icons to this slide, but that was a thought at one point, and I didn't take that part off. Sorry about that. So just looking here, this provides a bit of an overview of what the project timeline is. So as mentioned before, the project was launched fairly recently, so in March. And between then and now, we've been mostly in the discovery phase. So we've developed a background report, which is soon going to be released publicly, and that provides an overview of the study area. It looks at things like population density, the geography, road networks, and that sort of thing, and just general context. And also just, having startup meetings with some kind of key stakeholders and the project team internally, and just looking at best practice and a number of other review. And then we've recently moved into the initial engagement stage, although discovery is kind of ongoing. We're always learning and we're always discovering new things about the study area and active transportation opportunities as a whole. But we have moved into the initial engagement phase. So, and I'm going to dive in a little bit more into that and kind of flesh that out a little bit for all of you. And that's for, this month and into a little bit of the beginning of June. And then from there, we'll begin drafting the plan. And the plan will kind of begin to be drafted actually soon. But of course, we can't actually make any decisions or have any really big ideas until we do have a really solid engagement period and hear lots from the community. And so throughout the whole month of June, we'll be drafting the plan. And then we'll bring the draft plan back out for engagement. So we'll basically replicate this initial engagement phase again. However, we will use some learnings from this phase to maybe make adjustments. So if we notice that maybe, the public info sessions were highly attended and people wanted more, but then maybe the online engagement was less attended, we may shift things around. But it will basically right now, we plan to essentially mirror the different activities that are occurring now for the draft engagement. And that will really give folks something to sink their teeth into. Some people like this phase because it's the general sharing feedback, things that work right now, things that don't, big ideas. But then with the draft engagement, you can actually look at what some of the plans are. So some of the routes or the network plans, some of the different program recommendations, amenity recommendations. So maybe where there should be benches and that sort of thing. And then once we conclude that, we will take all of that feedback and we will revise and until we get it right, until someone who is a resident or a visitor or just a stakeholder within the town or the municipality takes a look at it and says, this reflects my community, and then we'll bring it forward and we'll go through the whole process of, finalizing and adopting it. And the plan is for August. Things don't always stay perfectly on track, but we're aiming to stay as on track as we can for this. So just to provide a little bit of further context about the study area, the municipality and the town of Pictou is mentioned probably at least 6 times before, so I apologize for being repetitive, are the two areas within this study area. So the municipality is the largest of the 6 municipal units that make up Pictou County, the others being the towns of Pictou, Trenton, New Glasgow, Stellarton, and Westville. And the municipality is considered a rural government, but in contrast to the town of Pictou, which is considered an urban unit. So these are just some kind of highlights about each study area, but there's lots more information in our background report if you're interested, and we will be sharing that soon. But the municipality of Pictou County is located on the northern coast of mainland Nova Scotia, adjacent to the Northumberland Strait. It spans approximately 2,795 square kilometers and borders the municipality of the county of Antigonish to east, municipality of Colchester to west, and the municipality of the district of St. Mary's to south. And the population density in 2021 was 7.4 individuals per square kilometer, with over 20,000 residents. And then the town of Pictou is situated along the shores of Pictou Harbor, opening into the Northumberland Strait. It spans about 150 square kilometers. It's accessible via Highway 106 and the Trans-Canada Highway. And the population density of the town of Pictou in 2021 was 24.5 persons per square kilometer, with 3,678 residents. So I'm actually going to hand it over to Rachel for these next couple of slides to explain these lovely maps that she created.
Yeah, so I'm going to dive into these next 2 slides. As Lydia mentioned, I am the GIS analyst at Upland. So basically, this analysis is important to determine what we're going to do for the future plan. And that includes the road network, existing active transportation facilities, and key destinations within the municipality and the town of Pictou. So as for the road network, the municipality of Pictou County and the town of Pictou are vital transportation links between Halifax, Prince Edward Island, and Cape Breton Island that encompass various road types, including local, collector, arterial, and the Trans-Canada Highway. In the municipality, the rural road infrastructure comprises of a mix of paved and gravel roads owned by the province, municipality, and private entities. The Department of Transportation and Infrastructure Renewal maintains around 2,000 kilometers of provincial roads, with the municipality overseeing 12 roads totaling 5 kilometers. Additionally, there are approximately 230 kilometers of private roads, mainly serving private developments or industrial operations. In the town of Pictou, major routes converge at the Pictou Rotary, branching off into local streets, connecting neighborhoods, businesses, and attractions. The town maintains 40 kilometers of roads, with 6 kilometers of that are provincially owned. We will be specifically looking at roads that see average annual daily traffic volumes greater than 1,000 and speed zones that are 80 kilometers or less. When these criteria are met, the province may consider providing paved shoulders as part of new road construction or repaving projects in the future. Both areas offer a conducive road network for active transportation, blending low traffic rural routes and well-connected local streets. With some improvements, cyclists and pedestrians will have opportunities to navigate safely and conveniently around both the municipality and town. And for this map, these are the active transportation facilities that currently exist in the municipality. Both the municipality and town offer a wide variety of active transportation opportunities. For instance, there are over 200 kilometers of formal and informal trails in the municipality of Pictou County and the town of Pictou that vary in uses including walking, hiking, cycling, skiing, and snowshoeing. As for sidewalks, the municipality maintains 5.7 kilometers of sidewalks in various communities throughout the county. In the town of Pictou, there are several streets that are lined with sidewalks. Generally, these streets are in close proximity to the waterfront, and sidewalks are less prevalent on streets that are outside of the waterfront area. For example, currently there are no sidewalks leading to Hector Arena and the Education Center. As for trails, I won't go into them all because there are quite a few, but there are several trails that vary in distance and are important assets for communities throughout the municipality and the town. Just a few are managed and several are mapped but not considered formal. The most significant trail asset that is located in both the municipality of Pictou County and the town of Pictou is the Jitney Trail. It is a designated section of the Trans-Canada Trail that extends 42 kilometers across the municipality from River John to the town of Pictou. The section of trail that extends across the municipality is packed gravel and it is open to motorized vehicles. The 3-kilometer section that is within the town is a mix of gravel and paved surface and it is not open to motorized vehicles. Moving on to cycling, as part of Nova Scotia's provincial cycling network known as the Blue Route, there is this 56-kilometer marked bike route that connects the town of Pictou to the East Mountain and Bible Hill at the municipal boundary. This segment follows provincial roads, including the Trunk 4 and Route 376, with a brief section on the Jitney Trail. The Blue Route is important because it is a designated cycling route that offers safe and scenic views for cyclists on secondary highways with paved shoulders and low traffic volumes, hard surface trails, and local streets. There are 3 additional roads within the municipality that are to be incorporated in the Blue Route network, including sections of Trunk 6, Trunk 4, and Route 245. This is important for us to identify to include it in our plan too. As for that, that's pretty much it for the existing active transportation. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you, Rachel. So this is the final section here that we'll go over and we'll have an opportunity to chat, which is a good segue into this next slide, which is community vision. So as mentioned before, community input it's absolutely essential for the success of this project. We could, look at the site area based on or study area based on our background review and come up with something, but it wouldn't be nearly as successful as if we do have community input. So recognizing this, we have come up with a variety of ways to engage with the public, and this isn't a full list of all of the different engagement activities. There is some targeted engagement that we're doing as well with different groups. But we are, hosting this online session, which we will also record and share. We will be holding 3 in-person public information sessions. So that will include a presentation similar to this, slightly more interactive, just where we will be in person and have the ability to be. And then it will be paired with some self-directed activities, feedback activities, as well as, an opportunity to have a group discussion and to ask questions to the project team. So I will go into the details about those after this slide. And then there's an online mapping tool. So that actually provides an opportunity to give the project team some location-based feedback. So you can drop a pin and say, I really love spending time in this space. So it could be as simple as that, or it could be, I think that this specific crosswalk is dangerous for this reason, and I have this idea for how to improve it. So you can provide as much feedback as you'd like. You're also able to respond to other people's comments that have been left, or upvote or downvote them. So if you maybe have the same thought but don't want to add another comment, you can upvote it, and that just helps to kind of, send the message to the project team that this is something that's, that multiple people in the community have identified as either an opportunity or a challenge. We are holding community partner interviews. So we have reached out to those folks. If you think that you're someone who maybe should be part of that or know someone who should be, that could be anyone from a community organization to a business owner to, someone who participates in active transportation a lot, or maybe someone who's wanted to but faces barriers, and would be good to speak to that experience. Please reach out to me. Please send along my contact information. The one-on-one conversations, they can sometimes only be 10 minutes. They could be up to an hour. They're really valuable. So please don't hesitate to reach out. And sometimes, really key players just get missed. And sometimes also emails end up in junk mail. So it's good to check there as well. And then in addition to that, you can contact the project team directly. So our email address is on the website, and at the end of this PowerPoint, my office number is there. I love answering phone calls with questions about active transportation, and if I can't respond to the questions, I'll pass you along to Rachel or Bruce or someone from the town or municipality. There's also on the website an option to sign up to be on the mailing list. So you'll receive project updates as everything progresses with it. So as mentioned before, we do have 4 different public info sessions. One is this virtual one, followed by 3 in-person sessions happening next week. So we have one on Tuesday at the Eureka Fire Hall. We have one at the Little Harbor Community Center, and then one at the Scottsburn Fire Hall. So those last 2 are Wednesday and Thursday. They start at 6:30, and they run until around 8. The 6:30 is really just if you want to see this presentation or a similar presentation to this. But if you can't make it until 7 or 7:30, please still drop by, because there will be an opportunity to still engage and to provide feedback. And then I mentioned previously that there is an online mapping tool. So this is just a screenshot of it to kind of give you a bit of a glimpse into what you could participate in. So there's instructions on how to use the map, how to provide feedback, and also on the sidebar, there's additional information about the project. There is a very short survey. I believe there's 4 or 5 questions. In addition to some just personal questions that are optional. Yeah, it's going to be active until the very last day of the month, the very end of the month. So please share it widely. We will also have it available on site at the public info meetings, for those who maybe just want to use our computer to participate. The survey will be printed and available at the public info meetings, and then an extra stack of those surveys will be located in some various locations in the town or municipality. We still have to kind of figure out where those will be available, but we'll have extras at the public info session, so you can complete one on site, or you can take some with you if you want to give them to other folks who couldn't make it. And then we will make sure that there's info on there about how to return the information. So there's lots more that we could talk about, but that's kind of the best way that we were able to keep it brief without taking up your whole evening. But basically there is the contact info there. The Active Steps Pictou County website is there as well. We definitely encourage checking that out. There's additional information there, and we will continue to populate that website as the project progresses. But what we will do is we'll stop recording, and then we'll open up the floor for questions and discussion period. And I just wanted to say thank you so much for listening to Rachel and I, and mostly me, but it's appreciated. Okay. Perfect. And okay.